Carrie.
All right, the campaign goes on. The 4 remaining GOP candidates are pushing for votes on the eve of 2 primary contests this weekend.
Tori Dunham now joins us from Washington. Tori, what's on tap for this weekend?
Chris and Elizabeth, first of all, no one could have imagined that we'd be where we are right now. We're 10 weeks in. There have been 31 different primary contests, and now these Republican contenders are vying for each and every vote in mid-March in Puerto Rico. That's definitely proof that every delegate will be counted.
From Iowa and New Hampshire.
And thank you, Iowa.
We have had a victory for the cause of liberty tonight.
To Louisiana and Puerto Rico.
This is, I think, my 3rd trip to Puerto Rico.
Who said every vote doesn't count? The slow march to 1,144 delegates continues with the Missouri caucuses ending on Saturday.
Isn't this beautiful? In Liberty, Missouri.
In the Puerto Rico primary on Sunday, which finds itself front and center after Rick Santorum said this week that as a requirement for statehood, the territory should adopt English as its primary language.
I think English and Spanish. Obviously, Spanish is going to be spoken here in the island, but this needs to be a bilingual country, not just a Spanish-speaking country.
Romney's campaign quickly pounced, issuing a statement saying Romney would not, as a prerequisite for statehood, require that the people of Puerto Rico cease using Spanish.
Chris and Elizabeth, Mitt Romney is really expected to do pretty well in Puerto Rico. He has the endorsement from the governor there. Although that's not stopping Rick Santorum. He spent 2 full days campaigning in Puerto Rico in hopes of stealing away some of those voters.
And Tori, we know it can get a bit confusing with what Missouri does with its caucuses. Can you walk us through that tomorrow's activity?
Definitely, no problem. Basically, what happens is the voters are choosing representatives. Those representatives will then choose the delegates that go to the convention this summer. So essentially, the voters aren't really picking the candidates. And to make it even more complicated, the state is not releasing results right away, so it could be a few weeks, maybe even months, before we find out who gets those 52 delegates. Then think back to February. Missouri already had a primary, but it didn't really count. It was considered to be a beauty contest as no delegates were awarded. Rick Santorum, though, walked away with bragging rights.
All right, that is complicated. Thank you, Tori. We'll be right back.